Hello and welcome to the issue number 2 of Comic Station on January 9, 2013. I am Paul Neafsey from Front Towards Gamer.
And I'm Scott Kaitz of the Comic Station.
As our segments go, we will be going over the new releases for January 9th. With over 80 new titles, we will only be picking out a few highlights of ones that either stand out or we believe deserve a little highlighting, and ones you may have missed. For a more comprehensive listing, you can check out our Front Towards Gamer article, where underneath the video we'll be having the list from all the different publishers. After the new releases, we'll be going over a review by myself and a recommendation by Scott. Welcome to the new release portion of our issue. Today we're going to kick off with the big one, Superior Spider-Man #1. This one is picking up, remember, spoilers, on Spider-Man number 700, where Peter Parker dies. I'm not going to ruin how or why if anyone hasn't seen it yet, but obviously this is a little controversy went flying around. In this issue, I've already had the pleasure of reading it, and it kicks off pretty well, actually.
I'm shocked at how decent I thought it was.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to save this a little later for our review section. I will be doing a preview review, and you'll be able to find later this week on Front Towards Gamer our full review. So we'll go to the next one. Is the annual for Green Lantern New Guardians. This one, obviously, it's an annual, so you should be reading the New Guardians, and this is helping flesh out the universe. Right off the bat, really need to know the universe in here. You can't just hop into this as a #1 and think you're going to be able to catch it up. It's not a #1, it's a #1 annual. Little quick on this, it does take a little while to get going. About halfway through is when they start kicking it up and you get into it. So anyone that's really invested in the New Guardians might want to pick this up. Otherwise, probably don't need it.
It's tough because as someone who does read the New Guardians, for me, it was tough to get into. Once I got into it, it was fine, but it took a little too long for my taste to get into the storyline.
Yep. So again, if you're a fan of the New Guardians, pick it up. It's going to add more to the universe. Otherwise, maybe start out with the New Guardians and actually catch up with the universe first. Next, we have a new one by Image called Repossessed. This one is not a big title, but I wanted to bring attention to it. It is a #1. First thing you'll notice inside is the artwork. Definitely stands out. Interesting use of colors. Storyline is interesting. I do like the fact that they hopped right into the action, got the basis of the story down, and you get straight to the mystery. This is along the lines of a crime fantasy. It's dealing with possession. I'm hoping to do a full review on this as well. And as our, I don't want to say footnotes, but a little added bonus here, we got Marvel Universe versus the Avengers #4. This is ending the little limited series. This just came out.
Very popular. A lot of people read it. A lot of people really enjoy it. I personally have not read it, so not much to say on it, but I can tell you from sales standpoint, it does sell well.
Yep, and it's two very popular universes slammed together, so if you're interested in Marvel or the Avengers, just check it out. Next one, people may be familiar of the Dresden Files, whether they know about the comics, the books, or the television series that had a run. This is the Dresden Files by Dynamite. It's a new story, and I know it was very popular among a number of my friends, at least the television and the series. So story-wise, they have a lot to go off of, so this might be something you're interested in.
Yeah, Dynamite does a lot of properties that are, big name properties, or even not so much big name, but properties that people can identify with. Generally, I find that their artwork's strong.
They take established IPs and then take them into the comic books.
And they do. Usually, they do a very good job with them.
Yeah, I haven't found a problem with Dynamite in the past. So if you are a fan of fan of Dresden Files, this is something you should look at. Another one, this one actually, the number 1 passed my view, but the number 2 just came out today. This is The Devil is Due in Dreary by Arden Publishers, and I haven't had the chance to read the first issue, but after a quick glance at this and being able to look through it, artwork is very nice, very beautiful. They took a lot of care in the make of the comic. That's always nice to see. And the storyline's interesting. It has a little mystery inside, and the characters as well as you are trying to figure it out. I myself am probably going to be picking up number 1 tonight. So, welcome to the review section of Comic Station. As last week we mentioned that the new Star Wars was coming out from Dark Horse Comics, and this week we have the review for Star Wars issue number 1 from Dark Horse Comics. The script was written by Brian Wood, who also did Conan, The Massive, and Mara. You may be familiar with these titles. For issue number 1, Star Wars, this takes you back into a very familiar universe, as this takes place after Episode 4 in the movie universe. You don't have to know all the books that are, hundreds of books that are out there, and the many series of comic books that are out there that go into the expanded universe. Since this is going off an established IP that is very familiar with many people, you don't have to feel left out in some of these books or comics. You don't have to know all that backstory. It makes it a very easy jump into and experience for the first time. This might even be a very good way to get you into the expanded universe. This, as we mentioned, goes off of Episode 4, immediately following, and where the rebels are looking for a new base. You see a lot of personal growth in the characters. You get a lot of banter going between characters, not just Luke and Leia as you would expect, but there is, I think, a very nice, not nice as far as they are being nice, but a good insight into Darth Vader and Darth Sidious. They're a little going back and forth, and some of the power plays that are going behind the scenes. The biggest thing I can say about Star Wars issue number 1 is there's a lot of growth, a lot of personal growth, progression behind the scenes in the movies that you might have missed, where in one movie the character came out a little different in movie Episode 5 and then Episode 6. And this gives you a good insight in what happened and how those characters were starting to evolve. None more than Leia. In this issue, starts off right off the bat, they are in an X-Wing. Leia's in there, she is an equal, and you can start to see her as she's progressing and becoming not just an equal and one of the rebels, not just the figurehead, but she is becoming the warrior princess that you will later see in the movie episodes, and we might be seeing later in the issues. So, many people are fans of Leia, and some people like her progression, and if you like the warrior princess Leia, you will like this and where it is going. Hopefully they continue this progression and series, but for an issue number 1, this is a great start. Not just the storyline, but I also have to call out to Carlos Deanda, who did the art for issue number 1. Very beautiful. Everything is crisp, beautiful lines, and it belongs. He didn't try to go crazy, and it looks both familiar but also updated as far as the colors, the crisp, maybe the details in Episode 4 weren't where they were by Episode 6, and going back, remasters. So it looks both familiar and new at the same time. Beautiful. So if you want, we have a full review where I go over some of the finer points, and you can see a few of the inside of the comics online, and the full review is available on fronttowardsgamer.com. For our score, actually, we gave it a 9 out of 10. It is a fantastic opening to a series that has a lot of depth and a lot of history, and for a number 1, it opens it up and really gets it off to a very nice footing and can really see it continue on. Obviously, we won't know until the next few issues come out, but as I said, sets it up, and really looking forward to the next few issues, seeing where they go with this. For our next section of Comic Station, we'll be having a recommendation by Scott.
Well, this week, and some people might say this is a cop-out because it's such a ongoing thing, but it is Batman, Detective Comics, part of Death of the Family. You have to recommend this because this has been, so far this year, going back even to the beginning of the New 52, the Batman title has been the best DC title. Detective Comics follows along in continuing the story. The artwork is fantastic. The story just continues on. Hopefully, we'll see. We're going to see a conclusion in February to this story arc, but I definitely would recommend you going out and getting all of the parts to Death of the Family. Detective Comics is, once again, right there. In my opinion, the second best Batman title, behind just the Batman. Well written, well drawn, beautiful colors, and it takes you right to where you need to be in this storyline. So, do yourself a favor, go out and get it.
Thank you, and thank you. This has been issue number 2 of the Comic Station for January 9, 2013, and we look forward to seeing you again for many more new releases, reviews, and recommendations. Thank you.